Hey guys, it's Shauna with Valkeryie, and I'm live yet again. Today I'm going to actually bring you some answers to some common questions that I get. So let's get right into it, shall we? First off, one of the most common questions that I get asked is, how long does it take for an organic social media campaign to take hold and start to get some results? The answer to that question is approximately 90 days. So you kind of have to think of your social media like a ship, right? So you've been going the wrong direction with that ship for a long time. And worst case scenario, you're kind of like the Titanic. Maybe your ship is sinking. And then, from there, and I'll answer the phone in a minute. From there, I will go into why that is. So let's say your social media campaign hasn't been working or not getting the organic results that you want. So I get that, right? And that can be really frustrating. But you have to remember, you've been doing it wrong probably for a really long time. So it's going to take some time for you to build up that engagement and build up that interest with your audience who's kind of tuned you out, as you've been doing it wrong. So it's going to take approximately 90 days to really see any difference with your social media campaign organically. Now, with that said, the next thing I'm going to get into really quick is people often ask me, well, how long does it take for an ad campaign to take off? And that's so dependent. I mean, here's the bottom line. It takes approximately 7 days for Facebook to optimize an ad campaign for you. So when you're shooting on an ad, like I have a spy tool where I can go in and I can actually dissect and say, okay, these ads are performing really, really well. And here's how much money they spent to get this ad to perform really well. And here's the type of audience that they targeted to get that ad to perform really well. So I can go back to clients or customers or anybody else and say, okay, here's the deal. Here's examples of some really high performing ad campaigns. So here's what you need to do in order to make your ad campaign perform with the highest level of results. So, it's really being able to dissect that information and say, okay, cool. And I'll tell you one thing I see across the board with every single successful ad that's out there. I saw one for a supplement the other day, for example, and they spent approximately $6,000 in ad money, did zero targeting, had some decent results from it, but at the same time, I saw another supplement company who did targeting correctly and spent $30 for approximately the same results. So when it comes to your ads, you need to run them for a minimum of 7 to 10 days because I see the most jump in interaction and results between days 7 and 10. Now, there's not many companies who are going to run them for approximately 30 days. As far as a constant campaign. So I would be wary of anybody who says, that that's a good solution, because what I'm seeing that's working when I'm using these spy tools is not that. So, what I am seeing is 7 to 10 days per ad. That being said, I'm also seeing multiple ads from, successful companies. So they're not just putting all their eggs in one basket, so to speak. They're actually optimizing and running their ads to the best possible audience for the best possible results. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is conversion. So having an ad campaign is great. Having a social media campaign is great. People always ask me, how can I track my conversions and where they came from? The answer to that is simple. It would be Google Analytics. You have to either install, if you're using WordPress, a plugin that plugs into your Google Analytics account, or you can use a bit of code that Google will give you and put it on top of your funnel or your page or whatever the offer is that you want to track. And what that's going to tell you is several different things. It's going to tell you your demographic, male, female, age, where they're from. Basically kind of dissect them and say, okay, this is who your audience is, and this is what's working for your audience or what's not working for your audience. That in turn helps targeting both on Google ads for PPC and also for your Facebook analytics as well. That being said, Facebook Pixel is a big deal when it comes to tracking your conversions from Facebook, and it's going to be very helpful to you because that's going to dissect and really look at your audience on Facebook in particular and say, okay, here's your audience on Facebook and here's what they're responding to. Caveat to that is always hey, I have an audience on Facebook, I have an audience on Twitter, Pinterest, wherever. Sometimes it's not going to be the same audience. So you're going to have to use a different posting strategy and a different way of communicating with those different audiences. For example, Facebook recommendation, post 1 to 2 times a day on your business page. Twitter, on the other hand, best to post 15 times a day. Why? Because Twitter moves faster, even though it has fewer worldwide users. Pinterest, you want to at least pin or repin 10 pins per day. It's a lot of work, right? So, if you don't want to do it yourself, that's why people hire social media managers to do it for them, because it is a lot of work to get it done right. And it takes a heck of a lot of, time, effort, thought to put in a full 90-day strategy. And I know I'm saying 90 days a lot, and there's a reason for that. Any type of decent ad campaign, and I don't care what the company is or what they do, the most successful ones are going to run an ad campaign for 90 days. There's another concept I want to introduce you to, and it's called planned virility. Okay, and this is actually a strategy I learned from the guys who are on Upworthy when I was at Collision. So what they do is they take a piece of content and they throw it out into the universe and they test it and they see how well it performs. Then they tweak that. They'll tweak the title of whatever blog post it is several different times to get it to work better. They'll put it out on social media. They'll ask questions about what people think about it, what they think could be done better. So they're constantly surveying their audience. And that's something you have to do, because sometimes you might think, okay, people want to know this, or people, I think people are going to respond to this design. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what your audience thinks and what they're responding to. So it's vital. And I say vital a lot because I'm serious about it. It's vital to survey that audience on a regular basis. And there's several ways you can do that. You can do that via email campaigns. You can do that via social media posts. You can do that, in person. You can throw out a survey just from time to time and say, hey, here's a reward for telling me what you think. And, it's up to you to make that reward whatever you want, whatever your irresistible reward is. It could be a $10 Visa gift card. It could be a dinner out at a restaurant. It could be whatever you want it to be. But ultimately, that's your decision. So you start thinking about, okay, what do my customers like the most about my business? What's going to be of most value to them? And I'm going to reward them for giving me their opinion. So, it's all kind of like that. And when you're doing that, you need to run that strategy, that planned virility, for approximately 90 days before you're able to really decipher whether it works or whether it doesn't. So it's important to really be cognizant of these types of things and know these types of things, because, a lot of people think, oh, social media, I'm going to get instant results. No, you're not. And until you start interacting with your audience, there's no such thing as instant results. Now, do ads help? Yes. Are ads going to help you make probably more instant sales than, having only an organic strategy? Yes. Sometimes no. It depends on the business because it depends on the audience. So when you're really looking and saying, okay, what does my audience want? What do they respond to? What is going to work best for the people on my list or in my audience or on my, social media pages? You have to really look at that and then create and craft a strategy around that. So that being said, I am about to sign off, but I have something extra for everybody watching today. I am getting in the habit of hiding what I like to call Easter eggs on our business page. And later today, I will be giving you another Easter egg where I take the 3 questions that I answered today and I actually show you some real life working examples of exactly what you can do that'll maybe give you some inspiration or maybe just be some helpful tidbits of advice for you. So, the last thing I really want to leave you with is you can have the best social media campaign in the world. You can have the best ad campaign in the world. But if your website sucks, if your funnel sucks, you're not going to get a win. So you really have to drill down on those analytics and say, okay, what's working? What's not working, and what do I need to tweak and fix it? Because trust me, the guys over at Upworthy do this, and this is what they do for a living. Well, heck, it's probably a good strategy to follow, right? really no arguing with that. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I have a ton of work to do, so I'm going to get to that. And, you know, check back often for the little Easter eggs I hide on the page, because I'm hiding some good ones. You just have to find them. Talk to you later.